The African presence is still visible in Israel today. There are thousands of African Palestinians who live in Israel with deep roots to the land, whose ancestors date back for centuries. I met with Ali Jadar, tour guide.
And once to watch the show, saying, so why stay? Why stay when you are called nigger every day? Why stay when you are denied your rights?
On the contrary, the more they humiliate me, the more they oppress me, the more I stick to my land. Because this is my land. I'm so rooted. We are deeply rooted as Africans, as Palestinian Africans in this land. And we know pretty well that our ancestors, I'm talking about thousands and thousands of years, had been here in this country, but they were spread away, taken to Africa, from Africa to the United States. So
I've been so welcomed here. I almost wanted to forget about Ashanti's role in the slave trade, but I can't. The Ashanti sold the Europeans prisoners of war and their own criminals. A large part of their wealth and glory was based on slavery. I wanted to know if they had any regrets, so I asked the king's son, Ohiniba Adewese Poku.
The whole slavery episode was an unfortunate era in the history of Africa, and for that matter of Ashanti. One would say it depleted the human resources of the empire. What perhaps the empire could have achieved, was lost through this trade. So much as we, as I said, do regret that era in our history, perhaps it was a sign of the times, and we couldn't have done otherwise.
But do you think the Africans understood how horrible the transatlantic slave trade was?
No. I mean, I don't think they knew. I mean, if they had known, known about the horrible stories that these our brothers and sisters were going through when they were being transported, not only from our coast, but through the transatlantic, through Goree, and then a transatlantic route to the States. I don't think they would have continued doing it. I mean, besides, there was no means of knowing.
They are frightened. Up to 15 crammed to a cell, the stifling heat amplifying their fear. They are Libya's new despised. African migrants rounded up in their droves, accused of being Gaddafi loyalists. In this rebel jail, they are disproportionately represented, the vast majority of 300 inmates. This Ghanaian prisoner says he was on his way to his day laboring job when he was picked up.
Yes, I'm afraid, because what are they saying? They say we have worked with Gaddafi. We too, we are not working with Gaddafi. We are here struggling to get money and go back to our country.
They all have similar stories.
I feel sad. I feel sad every day. I cried. Look at my voice. I cried. And they don't even have human sympathy at all. If we complain to them, they tell us we should go and die. Which is unfair. We maltreat them well in our country, but they are maltreating us as if we are animals.
Dwali, a Nigerian, says her husband was arrested a week ago. Then she was picked up as she went out to buy food.
They seized everything from us. They collected everything from us. I hid my money inside my pants. They took their hand inside and removed the money. They take everything from us.
The man in charge of the jail, a computer sciences graduate with no experience of managing inmates, admits half the prisoners are probably innocent.
I'm not allowed to release them because I didn't bring them here. Someone else bring them here, and he signed for this. So that's the one he's responsible about, to release them or not.
Their jailers promise justice, but amidst the appearance of prejudice, it may be hard to find.
It's a camp for the displaced, unlike others in Darfur. Never seen by the world, never reached by a humanitarian organization. A camp deep in the mountains, totally under rebel control. Over 1,000 people, mostly women and children, walked here on foot in the last 2 months, fleeing fighting between rebels and government troops. They shelter under sticks and straw. They forage in the woods to survive. Just to get here, each family made a journey through hell.
The people who attacked our village killed 2 of my nephews and my uncle and my father. They stole our animals and our clothes. They even took my kitchen utensils and the food I cooked. They burned our house, and I came here looking for a safe place.
This morning they received their first medical aid ever. The vaccines are donated by the Red Cross, but the doctors are rebels. UN and NGO hosted camps are only 15 miles from here, and yet these people still chose to come to this place. Some say they prefer the safety of the so-called liberated areas. Others say they'd rather depend on their own means and go through endless procedures to get any aid.
And one of the mothers that we spoke to said about the conditions that she had no shoes, and she pointed to her feet and talked about how hot the sand was.
I don't know, sir. I had to disagree with you there.
To understand any story, you have to start at the beginning. We live in civilization. The beginning of civilization started in Egypt by the Egyptians, who is known today as the black race.
All right, sir, I'm going to cut you off. We're going to go back onto the flames. Hold on 1 second. We don't want to incite, sir.
Come live, have a live debate going on.
Peace ain't the problem, man. There's no peace. That's why we have this situation. There's a remedy, though. I just hope to God we people in Los Angeles can wake up to that. There's a lot of beautiful people here, but there's a lot of hurt people, a lot of psychologically hurt people, a lot of mental people, a lot of physical